All right, let's see. So, what is the the default file that the server opens when we call it, when we open a folder? What would it be? If you go to somewebsite.com, what's the first file that is going to open? The index, right? So we can have an index.html or index.php. And that's going to be the one that is going to be open automatically, right, by default. So I have here a folder, requests, and inside I have my index.php, which is going to be the file that will be opened the very first time when I go to the folder requests. Alright, so let's open that file. There we go. I'm going to add some HTML structure. Okay. And let's call this one post and get requests. So let's understand once and for all how this post and get thing work. Okay. So let's see. Since I am in PHP, we said that I can have here at the top some PHP code that will be executed on the server only. Right? And I'm going to write a variable msg for message. And message will be equal to a variable coming from a request in get. Right? What would that be the code to say, okay, I'm going to get a variable in get method? How do you write that in PHP? How do you write it in post? No, with PHP. $, underscore, and then you specify the method, right? Let's put get. Okay, and what would be the name of the variable that I'm going to be getting? Well, let's call this m. You can name it whatever you want. So what it says, what it means is that there is a variable m that is going to be coming in get method. And I'm going to get it right here. Once I got it, I'm going to save it into a variable message. That's what it says. Right? And once that I have in message, once that I have saved that value, well, what I can do, for example, I can say echo message. Right? So now, where can I have variables in get? Where are those variables found when they are in get? Max. No, they're not in a file. Where can I find variables that are sent in get? Where are those located? On the URL. Exactly. Yes. So let's see. This is inside night PHP requests index. So night PHP request. There you go. That's opening the index, right? You see? By default, it's opening the index.php, or the same thing, I can type here index.php, and that's the same file. Now, as I said, yeah, we can get that on the URL. How do we start adding variables in the URL? With a question mark. Okay, anything after the question mark are variables on get. That's it, right? What is the name of the variable that I'm expecting? Here, look. What name did I give it? No, that's where I'm going to save it. Look, on the left-hand side, everything from equal on the left, that's where I'm going to save. I'm going to make this equal to something else. So I'm going to save the value here, right? But where is the name of the get variable? M, right? So then M is the name of the variable that goes right here, M. And the value equals anything you want. Hello. Right? So I press enter and we see hello because we got here M, which has the value hello. We saved hello into message and then we're echoing message, echoing hello. Yeah. So if I want to add another variable, no, another variable is not added with plus. Plus is a space. Hello world. Hello world is a space. You see there's a plus. Plus is also, sorry, the space is also percentage 20. That one also means a space. Hello world. Yes. So if I want to have another variable, so let's see, what else would you like to have besides message? Give me a variable, anything. Name. And what variable do you want to give it for the URL? N. Why not? It could be name, huh? It could be name. Doesn't matter. Well, let's put N so we can differentiate between the variable on the URL and the variable in PHP. We want to make sure that we understand they're different, right? They could both have the same name, but we will get confused, right? So for now, let's start by giving them different names. One will be N. Remember, everything inside the get, this is the name that will appear in the URL. And this is where I'm going to save it, right? When we say x in math, x equals 10, I am saving 10 in x, right? X is getting the value of 10. The same thing here. I'm saying name is going to get the value of whatever is on the URL. Of the N, of the M, or whatever. E for email. Right? So now my code is expecting to get an N for the name, an M for the message, and an E for the email. So far we have an M for the message. We can add more. How? At the end we add with an ampersand and, for example, N for name equals Ashley. No, sorry, no quotes. Equals Ashley. And E for email equals ash@gmail.com. Right? Are we going to see something on the screen? Hello world. How come we don't see? No, because I didn't say echo. I said echo message. I didn't say echo name. I didn't say echo email. I got the variable. I saved it in a variable name. Right? I got the name. I saved it in a variable name. I got the email. I saved it in a variable email. But I didn't do anything with it. Right? If I add here a break and then some more PHP, here we're going to put the name and then here we're going to put the email. Ah, now I'm doing something with those variables that I'm getting through get. What is this? Okay. So this is the very basic way of communicating with the server. I'm sending information to the server through the URL. In PHP, I can get this information and do something with it. What? I don't know. For example, I'm gonna create a very basic system where if the email is the one of Ashley, I'm gonna show welcome. If it's not the one of Ashley, I'm gonna say, sorry, you don't have access to this page. Right? Simple stuff like that. So for example, I'm gonna start by saying, let's get rid of this. And I'm gonna say, if the email that I'm gonna receive is the one of Ashley, ash@gmail.com, right? I'm going to echo welcome, and I'm going to concatenate her name. Right? Sorry, I'm just gonna wanna get back the okay. Alright, else if it's not Ashley, echo sorry, you don't have access. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna send information to the server, and according with this information, this data we're gonna get, we can decide to do something like this. So if it's Ashley, let's try again. Welcome, Ashley. But if we put another one, let's say Max. Sorry, you don't have access. Only Ashley has access to this. Right? So again, this part here, I'm going to put it like this. Save. Save here. Get from URL here. Alright, so this is coming from the URL. Right, this is the name variable name, and we're gonna save it here. Okay, so whatever we get from the URL, we're gonna save it, and then we can then echo, do whatever we want. Later on, we're gonna see we can. Maybe it's a registration form, and we're gonna save the new user who registered into the database, right? Or maybe it's a login form, and we're gonna check, is this username and password correct? Yes, okay, go ahead, get in. Or we're gonna check, oh, they wanna see the post ID number 57. Let's look for the post ID 57 here, and you show the post from a blog with ID 57 coming from the database. Right? So that's what the exchange of information is for. Now, as we all know, the get method is not very secure because we can see everything there. Right? You want to use the get method when you want to be able to share the URL with someone else, and they will be able to see the same content. If I take this URL and send it to Marie-F by email, she will see, sorry, you don't have access. On the other hand, if I take this URL and I send it to Max, he's gonna see welcome Ashley. So the content that we're gonna see will depend on the URL that I have right here, right? It's like on Google, if I make a search for PHP get method, right? I have a bunch of variables right here. This is good because I can take this URL, copy it, send it to someone, and they will see the same results that I'm seeing right here. I can share these results. I can share this dynamic page with someone else. But if the information we're going to be sending is not really to share content, but it's more confidential, right? It's something I don't want people to see there. I don't want people to reproduce. Then we just post. And the post method is not sent through the URL. The post method are sent through forms. We need a form for that. Yeah. In this case, I can take, for example, this URL, copy it, and make it a link. href equals this link, right? And whomever clicks on that link will always see, this is what is Ashley. Ash will always see welcome Ashley. Click here. Always the same, welcome Ashley. Right? But now, if I don't want to send it through a link, through a URL, like this one, I will need a form, because the form has the option to select the method, and we can select the method post. And that's like to submit a login form, to submit a registration form, to submit, I don't know, a post on Facebook, etc. Right? So, if I'm going to be getting with post, what changes here is this. Instead of get, I will be getting post. And the name of the variable will come from the input. So for example, I'm going to create here a new file called form.php. Okay. This form will also have my HTML structure. Let's call this my form. Okay. Okay. And this form will also send a name. We'll send an email. And we'll send a message. Oh, we didn't do anything with the message here. Let's put echo. Sorry, you don't have access. Break. Okay, just to see the variables. Name, email, message. Name, email, message. We use them everywhere. All right. So this form will also send a name, will send an email, and will send a message. Now, in order to complete the form, we need to have a specific thing. If not, it's never going to work. Number one, we need an action. And the action is where we want to send these variables. Where are we going to send this information to? Right? I'm going to send it to index.php. Number two, I need to specify what method I'm going to be using, right? So we're going to start by using get. Start by using get. Okay? And number three, every single variable that I want to send, I need to give it to the input. For example, the name needs to send a variable n, right? We're expecting n. The message is expecting m. And the email is expecting e. So we need to give those names, those variable names, to the input. So that's where name comes to place. Name equals m for name. Name equals e for the email. And name equals m for message. Okay? Don't get confused with jQuery. I know that with jQuery and JavaScript, we were getting the value through the ID because it was easier. We can give an ID name, right? And we were saying document get element by ID, or $dot name or ID name dot val to get the value, right? No. JavaScript, jQuery, they use the ID. Okay? The name is only when we submit to the server. Okay? It's not the ID. The name is actually the one we submit to the server. Okay? So let's see. I have this little form with a name, email, message, submitting in get method with my variables n, e, m. I'm going to add a submit button. Okay. So this is inside form. Okay? I said method get. And I'm going to send this to index. Therefore, the form when I submit is going to put everything on the URL. It's going to send this to index and it's going to put the variables in the URL. There you go, index and everything. N equals the same that we did before, remember? That %40, that's the arrobas, that's the at. .com, m equals plus n. And there you go. Sorry, you don't have access. And there's what I got from the get. Now, if I change the method here to post, go back, refresh, and I submit, there's no more variables up here because they're sent through post, and PHP was not able to get them. That's why we don't see anything here, because it was expecting for get and we sent post, so it couldn't receive anything, right? So we have to use whatever we're gonna be sending with. We have to make sure that PHP uses the same method. Okay. So if I am submitting with post, then here I'm supposed to be getting post. What I'm gonna leave this in get, and I'm gonna recreate them in post. Okay. So now they are in post. Now it's gonna work. There you go. Everything is there. Okay. Because we submitted in post. Nope. Post does not show on the URL. Okay. So again, what you submit is the name. That's the name of the variable. On the inputs, you submit the name. Okay? That's what you're gonna get here. If it's on a form in post, we say $_post. If it's on a form in get, we say $_get. If it's on a URL, it must be get. So with a form, we have more options. We can send through post and to get. With a form, URL must be get. No other option. If it's a link like this one here, for example, here, sorry Eduardo, but I have a link here towards Ashley's, remember? Click here, boom. Didn't work because it's expecting post now. The link has, sorry, it's expecting post and I sending get, right? The link has in get, so it doesn't work anymore. Anyways, I'll put this as an example, right? But this one doesn't work because it is sending all the information in get, and the part of get we commented it, so it's not working. It's actually working on post only. Right? That's why the link doesn't work anymore. Okay, questions so far? No. No. Okay, very good. One last thing I want to show you is about the variables. So we said that we concatenate with a dot in PHP, right? But there is a big difference now between double quotes and single quotes. Double quotes are magical. Double quotes can eliminate completely the concatenation. For example, I'm gonna put here double quotes welcome name break, okay? And I'm gonna put here echo single quotes email break. No concatenation, everything inside quotes. So this one here is using double quotes and this one is using single quotes, okay? And in both I have the variable inside. So this one is expecting ash@gmail. Let's see. So it says welcome Ashley, but on the other one says $email. So what can we tell from double quotes and single quotes? Maria. Huh? What's the difference with double quotes and single quotes? What happened here? One of them says welcome Ashley and the other one says the variable name. Double quotes will actually take the value of a variable. The value of name is Ashley. So double quotes, if we have a variable inside double quotes, it will take the value of that variable. Single quotes will not take the value, it will take literally what is written inside. So even if email is a variable, it will take those exact characters as part of the string. $email. That's a string. Double quotes, no. Double quotes will say, oh, okay, hold on, name, I think it's a variable. Let me check. Yes, it is a variable, and it's going to put here the value of that variable. Okay? So basically, whenever you use single quotes, then yes, you want to concatenate like this. Right? So with single quotes, you have to concatenate. With double quotes, you don't have to concatenate. You can put even variables inside, and the value will be taken. Let's try again, refresh. There you go. Here I'm concatenating because I'm using single quotes, and here with double quotes I actually have the variable inside, and it's getting the value of that variable because I'm using the double quotes.